Here's your next notebook entry, titled Order of Operations. Make sure you put the title in the table of contents. You can put your pencils down when you watch part of this. This is your objective. Students will solve equations using the correct order of operations. Order of operations is a very important rule in math. You have to follow this rule in order to solve most math problems. At the top of page 4, go ahead and write this statement. I can solve equations using the correct order of operations. Don't forget to put your title and make sure you've numbered page 3 and page 4. If you need more time, pause the video. If you can remember these letters, you can remember the order of operations. P stands for parentheses, E for exponents, M for multiplication, D for division, A for addition, S for subtraction. I have no doubt that you've seen and used this information before. So you do not need to copy this information down. Go ahead and just watch for a minute. Here we have an equation, 3 to the second power plus 8 minus 3 times 4. The first step is parentheses. So if you do the parentheses, 8 minus 3 is 5. So now we have 3 to the second power plus 5 times 4. The next step is exponents. We do have an exponent. If you remember, exponents to the second power means you multiply that number by itself 2 times. So 3 times 3. So now we have 9 plus 5 times 4. Your next step is multiplication and division from left to right. There we have multiplication problem. 5 times 4 is 20. So now we have 9 plus 20, and that's 29. Here's another sample problem. We want to start with parentheses, which we don't have. Oh, if you don't follow the order of operations, then you might think that you just need to go from left to right completely, and then you would end up with 8 plus 2, which is 10, times 4, which is 40, but that answer is not the correct answer. No parentheses, no exponents. Now we want to multiply and divide from left to right. So your first step is actually 2 times 4. So you have 8 plus 8. And we end up with 16. So it wasn't 40, it was 16. Now I need you to get ready to write some actual notes on your right side. You should have the title, you should have page 4, and you should have your I can statement written at the top. So skip a line and work these problems. Go ahead and write this towards the top of your right side. I'll pause it so you can write that. You can always come back and write it later too. I will be giving you some information to glue into your left side that you can just copy the information right off of. So we'll go ahead and start with the example. So write down 2 plus the quantity of 9 minus 6. When I say the quantity of, I mean that that is in parentheses. So 2 plus the quantity of 9 minus 6 divided by 3. And if you're following parentheses first, so we have 2 plus 3 divided by 3. So you know what the next step is. Multiplication and division from left to right. So we have a division problem, 3 divided by 3. So now we have 2 plus 1. And of course that's 3. So you should have this written in your notebook, and I do have more example problems coming up next. Here's your second example problem. 3 minus 2 plus 6 times 2 to the second power. We don't have any parentheses. We do have exponents. Remember, an exponent to the second power means you multiply that number times itself 2 times. So it would be 2 times 2. 4. Next step is multiplication and division from left to right. The first multiplication or division problem we have is 6 times 4. So now we have 3 minus 2 plus 24. Now we can do addition and subtraction from left to right. Here's your last example problem. This one's a little bit different. Don't let it confuse you. Remember that the first step is parentheses. So whatever's inside the parentheses, you need to do that first. That's its own equation. So the first step being parentheses, what's inside the parentheses, there's an exponent. So you're going to actually go ahead and figure out 3 to the second power minus 5 first. Three to the second power means 3 times 3, which is 9, minus 5. Now we can go ahead and do the parentheses step. Now we don't have any exponents left. We just have a multiplication problem. And we end up with 48. Ready to go to the next slide, so if you need more time to copy, make sure you pause. Oh, a little note first. Parentheses first. Solve whatever is inside them first. Even if it has exponents or multiplication, division inside first, always solve what's inside the parentheses before you do anything else. How are you going to remember PEMDAS? I'm sure you already know. Go ahead and include that on your right side. So now you have both where P says parentheses, E says exponents, M says multiplication, etc. And you also have it where it says, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. On your right side, you should have both of those. If you need more time, go ahead and pause. I'm going to move on. This is on the left side. You'll probably need to pause while you work on this piece that you're going to put into your left side. You have a sheet of paper with some lines. The dashed lines are for you to cut. The solid line is for you to fold. It's going to fold over some information. And you'll glue this sheet onto your left side so that you can fold the paper to cover the explanations. When you have it in front of you, it'll be easier to understand. The folded pieces should not cover the words, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." You should be able to see them when it's folded. Once you have your foldable glued in, go ahead and start the rest of the video back up, and there are some problems for you to figure out on your own. You can put the foldable on the left or the right side of your left page, as long as it's on your left page and you've left space to work those problems. There's your 3 problems for you to work. Do your best to do them individually, and go ahead and check them with your neighbor when you are finished. Have a great rest of the day.